with Fnatic mainly just targeting away some of the strong bot side picks with Annie and Rakan, but there's that Jace, that top side focus once again. We'll see what Mad focus now as we move into the picks.
Also, a lot of respect given to Humanoid on the Lissandra. He had a phenomenal 2 games coming in that pick and really did give a lot towards Razork and Humanoid playing through that mid jungle, so not surprised to see that taken away. The blind Vi, though, does mean that potentially we're going to see Vi on the other side.
Just so people understand, it's not Vi. It's not just so people are aware.
Okay, season 2,
no, okay, there's also okay, so just just letting people know. So Vi, Gragas, and Zeri have been locked in for Mad Lions, with Fnatic locking in Ahri, Wukong, and Sivir now on the red side. So we're looking to get that rectified as quickly as possible. But what a twist that would be in Arcane Season 2, right?
It's 2 Vi's, actually just 12.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Stranger Things, right?
Stop it.
It's just Stranger Things, yeah, as you say. Vi, Gragas, Zeri for the Mad Lions, Ahri, Wukong, and Sivir locked in now for Fnatic.
And that's why I haven't been the biggest fan of this first pick 5 pretty much across the board. Like Sivir, Spell Shield, Shield's going to be totally fine. Same you look at Ahri, you will try and ult Ahri, she just goes the other direction, brings you with her. So I think teams have started to adapt away from the Vi in a lot of situations, but we'll have to see how comfortable they're going to be now with this Gragas being paired with it towards the mid lane.
So yeah, you can see the picks behind the players. Ahri, Wukong, and Sivir, of course, locked in for Fnatic so far. Veigar has now been banned away on the side of Fnatic, with Malphite coming out from the side of Mad Lions. We saw this a lot from LPL, we've seen it from LCK. Malphite just being a generic ban now, considering its strength, the great itemized, the build options that it does have now, along with just how well it does into so many different champions. The respect being shown once again towards that top side of the map, with Pyke being taken away from Hylissang. But many know how terrifying he can be on the champion.
I mean, Fnatic know firsthand how terrifying he can be on the champion. So many times he was able to carry them to victories here, playing up against his old former team and his old AD carry duo. Last time Fnatic actually picked up a win in the LEC was back in 2018 when it was Reckless and Hylissang in the bottom lane for them. There's the Lulu ban to round things out for Mad Lions. Fnatic now probably going to look towards, you could go blind top, or you could look and pick your support right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the thought process here is like you compare the Lulu with the Sivir, so instead of going with the Zeri, they're going to take it away. But the biggest problem is like, what do you try and go with? Nautilus or something like that? You could try, but it's great, not that great.
I imagine that Alioya also spotted, remember that early vision invested by Humanoid? I didn't quite catch if he was spotted on the ward, unfortunately, but Kazi going to use his pressure to drop a bit of early vision as Alioya looks for a gank in mid.
Looking for it, Niski going in with a flash as well. Humanoid going to try and get away, does still have the flash. Alioya flashes over the wall, Humanoid flashes back. Alioya with the red buff, slow, can't quite catch out Humanoid. Alioya predicting, and Humanoid with the patience to hold his summoner spell.
Yeah, Alioya thinking too many steps ahead as Hylissang now looks for a fight.
Yeah, but Avian can just handshake Kazi back, gets the shield as well. The Ignite goes down onto Kazi, no vision in the bush for Fnatic, but that Ignite helping them, giving them that little bit extra awareness so they could still put the damage down onto Kazi.
They know Razork's on this bottom side, so Mad really want to try and get this wave pushed in. Healy trying to play aggressive with the level 3, but Razork on the way has been spotted on that ward that Kazi placed earlier.
They've got to back away, but the handshake's going to pull Hylissang back. Still flashes available for Hylissang and for Kazi. Hylissang uses the Ferromancy to try and get a shield. Won't be able to get away from this one as Razork claims first blood.
And they already knew that this was going to happen. Mad already spotted Razork on that the bot side jungle. They knew everything, but trying to take that aggressive trade really came back to hurt them. And it's first blood over towards Fnatic.
Ultimately a big blunder from the bot lane of Mad Lions. You can see that the idea is to push another wave in as you are highlighting Dagda so that they can then get a good reset off. But it took them too long. They took too much damage and they had no way of escaping. Hylissang held onto his flash for now. It's a very awkward situation for both teams right now, but Mad seem to be way more comfortable. Fnatic looking for the collapse.
Mad just willing to wait it out. Cease and desist goes in. Razork the one locked up. The Cataclysm blocks them, but there's the engage. Magnet Storm on 2 as Hylissang manages to find one. The second kill goes over to Chasey. Humanoid dashing in with a Spirit Rush, but Mad Lion's still very healthy. Can try and lock him down, slicing Maelstrom in. The double body bump, and there's the bomber they were looking for. Hylissang yoinks Oscar in him back, and even though Oscar in it is underneath his own tower, Niski will claim his life. A double for Mad Lions, a double for Niski, and a beautiful fight for them in the top side.
They bought the time that they needed for Mad Lions to collapse, and Fnatic completely spread out. Humanoid couldn't get involved, and a brilliant pickup for Mad Lions off the back of it.
I think Mad just made a great decision to force the...
Mad Lions trying to play around at the Magnet Storm going in. Reckless trying to get away from the back line here. Obviously going in as well with the Cataclysm, the slicing motion from Chasey. As you say, it's huge, but Reckless still alive, and he's opening up on this Sivir. He's done this so many times in the past. Reckless is surviving. Chasey nullified. Fnatic find the fight, but Niski TPing in is going to try and take out Razork. He's the smite, remember. He dashes across the wall. The Dragon now secured for Fnatic. And even though the slicing Maelstrom came in from Chasey, Fnatic was somehow able to survive.
And we talk about how the fights around Dragon are going to be so important. Let's just keep an eye on Reckless here. He gets engaged on by the entirety of Mad Lions, but he's able to get away to safety. Then the collapse from Chasey flashes out to safety. Meanwhile, Oscar Rinnan just buying time with his ultimate on the backline, keeping Kazi and Elyoya locked up, which then allows Reckless to then re-engage on the fight, as Razork is doing so much damage alongside the rest of Fnatic. Niski then rejoins the fight, but ultimately the criticism for the failure of this fight needs to go towards Niski. The fact that he overstayed in the bot side of the map, the fact that Mad thought that he could just solo take that fortunate fight for them. They're looking for a collapse onto Chasey. Level 15 Kennen. I don't know if they have the damage to kill him.
Humanoid has the ultimate. Oscar Rinnan coming in here as well. There's no tower for Chasey. He'd have to get all the way back to the tier 2, and Humanoid dodging at the edge of the slicing Maelstrom perfectly. Oscar Rinnan won't invest the Cataclysm, but they will pick up the kill. Meanwhile, though, Mad Lions, they're like, okay, cool, you invest 5 people into the top lane, your inhibitor is forfeit for that, alongside your tier 2 in the bottom lane. Kazi and Elyoya will at least be able to take the inhibitor tower. The recalls do come out from Fnatic, so the inhibitor won't go down, but Niski gets a tier 2 in the bottom lane as well. And in the end, the towers stand at 7-2 in favor of Mad Lions.
And that's the last few passages of play where Mad Lions have gone, cool, Fnatic, we can see exactly what you're doing, but we have a response. Chasey TP to the Baron, they get the Baron. Then you invest too many members onto bot side, they get top turret, they get mid turret, and then once more, Fnatic overextend.
Minions there as well means that the chart goes wide. Oh! With the Magnet Storm, the Slice Smasher coming out, but the explosive cast is anti-synergy. Hostile takeover coming out as well, and Reckless spell shields and Elyoya the chart. Reckless surviving on the back line, but so is Kazi. And Kazi has a lot more health and a few more years under his belt. A triple for Kazi. The Zeri popping off, making a quadra. And one more to the list as Kazi wipes away the fight.
The bot lane for Mad Lions pop off in the end. Great engage from Hilly, and Kazi will happily claim the lives of Fnatic as they take game number 1.
I was concerned when I saw all of Fnatic being spread away from Chasey's ultimate. But Reckless, he'd taken so much damage at the start of the fight, it did not matter. Kazi and Hylissang come up clutch, and Mad are looking to take game 1.
And in the end, even though there was a bit of time in the world that he wants just to be anywhere else on the map.
Now moving up towards this top side, they want to make a play happen. Chasey gonna just hit level 6 as this comes through. No flash available though, this is dangerous.
Yeah, Humanoid's on his way up here as well. Avian, just enough mana for the Q. Chasey, no flash as you say. There's the Dominus early. Razork looks to take the tower. Aggro, Slicing Maelstrom coming in as well. The knock up, and at the end takes it. Not who you want, but Fnatic will be happy for the kill.
They really wanted to kill Chasey on that one. The entire squad nearly making their way up towards that top end. Mad respond well though. Niski pushes in mid. They get Dragon, and now potentially looking for the play into Reckless, who's still level 5.
TP available for Humanoid, so if Reckless can survive for a couple of seconds, maybe he can do something. Flashes away, there's the TP. The wave tanked by Hylissang. The tower, in fact, there was 1 minion left in that wave. Mad Lions able to get out, just getting the TP from Humanoid.
So Fnatic get an advantage top. They don't lose anything, but knows he's going to be behind in tempo thanks to the fact that he keeps that TP. So overall, just a really smart sequence of events from Fnatic.
I actually really like this from Fnatic as well. Advient popped the Scryer's Bloom to force Niski to think the top side was safe. Niski then passed towards the top side. Razork comes in, and Niski falls in the mid lane. Really intelligent stuff from the Fnatic support and jungle.
And now the Soraka response.
Let's go, bananas!
So it's an actual silence for Hilly in the top of
It is. Oscar is able to dash his way away from that one with the Lightning Rush. There is a huge wave stacked up here, and he doesn't have the Slicing Maelstrom, nor does he have Flash, and because of that, kind of has to respect the fact that Mad Lions are in the area. Lightning rushes away once again. Hylissang's bone plating is propped, but the wave is dying to the tower. 1 plate so far over to Mad to find a hook.
Advien and Razork have been a consistent roaming duo this game. I think Advien has spent Well, a very little
Chasey.
time bot lane. Chasey's back, gonna get interrupted once again. The ultimate comes through, Chasey no ult.
Yoyo on his way. Chasey, tank the tower. Razzle looking for something, twisted advantage. Chasey flashes forward, dashes in and gets the kill! Beautiful stuff from Chasey, absolutely isolates Oscar in it. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, you can see Hylissang and Kazi taking that tower in Reckless's face.
The ultimate from Hylissang was so crucial in turning that play around for Chasey. He just needed to build up that fury so that he could commit to the play. Earlier, he had skills on cooldown, which is why he couldn't secure that kill underneath the tower onto Oscar and this time around, though, he was ready, and they were able to get a punish. 2-2 is the kill score. Razork and the TP now coming in from Humanoid.
No ultimate for the Maokai. Chasey has the slice and the dice. Can try and use it through Razork. There's the twisted advantage. Take out the 1v1. Meanwhile, Reckless coming in, looking for a little bit more for himself. Elioya, flash available to him. Rooted up, gets to the blast cone. Won't get away. Reckless with a double. At the end, chasing Cardi down. Pulls him in, hooks him up. Could have gifted the kill, but sometimes you got to take those as a support.
It doesn't matter who takes them. Fnatic fight back against Mad Lions, getting themselves 3 kills on that bot lane. And we were talking about, hey, look, you need Humanoid to step up, but in this potential elimination game for Fnatic, it looks like everyone is stepping up to take the place.
I think it was just such an overzealous dive from the Mad Lions. They saw Oscar in with no flash. They thought that, hey, this is easy pickings. This cannon is incredibly weak, but let's have a look. Was it dodges or was it misses?
It dodges so much.
So, initially, the exhaust does come down onto Oscar and the ultimate goes very wide, I feel.
Okay, maybe it was a miss.
And it's Hylissang tanking the tower initially, but you can see they just don't have the CC. I think this is a bit of a misplay from Oscar Ridden. I guess he kind of gets funneled into an awkward spot, but at the end of the day, he buys time. And that's all he needed to do, to wait for the rest of Fnatic to collapse. Reckless then comes in from mid lane, able to secure the kill onto Hylissang and Elioya. And I agree, Medic. I think that this gold could have been funneled over, but you know what? At the end.
Oh, God hand himself. Reckless on a killing spree now.
He makes up for it.
He makes up for it. Exactly that. He's like, oh, you wanted that? Let me just get you another one. Let me get you another one. Great hook comes in from AdVN. And Fnatic now break open the mid tower. And just like that, it feels like that the momentum has quickly shifted in Fnatic's favor.
With Dragon in 20 seconds as well. They can try and keep this one up. Looking for Niski. Doesn't realize that there's a ward just there.
X-Flash. Nature's Grass stolen away by Niski. Kazi will be up in 5 seconds time. Fnatic only 3 players actually in the river right now. You can see Oscar Ridden pushing in the bot lane. Wants to get that tower down as well if he can. Humanoid is answering Chasey, the 2 most to try and join with his team. But with there being a tower still standing here, it feels a little bit greedy to go deeper, Fnatic. Razzle caught out by Kazi. Reckless diving in as well. There's the twisted advance. And Kazi dashes over the wall. Reckless, you flashing for it! Into the lightning rush. The immortal shield bow is not there at all. Razzle onto Hylissang. Pulled underneath the tower's grasp, but the Nature's Grasp comes out. Flash away from Niski. Hooked in once again. And Fnatic find the fight.
Fnatic are coming alive in this game, saying here, this is how you use the ultimates, my friends. Immediately get the kills. Terror on bot side, Rip Carroll's here. That's going to be both in favor of Fnatic.
Wow, and this play all started off with Mad attacking Oscar Ridden. And you know what the difference between week 1 and now is, Medic? The boys are here for their top laner, all right? Very quickly, Fnatic was ready to support their top laner. Humanoid was quick to respond, and in a 2 versus 3, they held their own, right? We saw them going in this back and forth skirmish where, like, the second that he's getting collapsed on, you can see Humanoid saying, hey, you know what? I actually think we can fight this. Oscar Ridden does what he can to create space. The damage is good for Humanoid. Niski's a little hesitant because the ultimate comes out from Oscar Ridden. And Niski not having that ultimate means that a lot of damage is unavailable for him. The flash comes out from Humanoid, the flash from Elioya, and then the collapse as we see in upper fight.
Elioya hook back once again. TP's coming in from both sides, and actually that TP's going to be very deep from Oscar Ridden. They dive immediately onto Razzle. He's fallen. The slicing mouse coming out as well, but Oscar Ridden doesn't quite have the damage. Humanoid trying to trade back in at the end, putting his body in the way, but his body is melted through, and Mad Lions turning around in a heartbeat.
It just looks so good, and then Fnatic toss it all away.
Fnatic, Reckless wasn't there. He has 4 kills. He is so strong, and you just picked a fight without him. Fnatic, this coordination issue is something that we have seen from them time and time again. It feels like that the game... How does the game get away from you? Like, you were in such a good position.
You've heard of a Lee Sin call of the queue. This is the call of the hook.
But just look
as
at the
soon
map.
as you land it, you gotta go.
Kennen is going top. Reckless is nowhere near this fight. And like they're saying, oh, we've got to pick on Sejuani? That's who we've got to pick on? Like, Eljoya immediately turns this one around. They melt through Razork, and then the TP comes in from Oscar as he's making his way top. But again, this fight is still at a numbers disadvantage. It goes from 3v5 to 3v5. Yeah. And Fnatic, you were in a great position to turn this game in your favor, equalize the score 1-1, and now you've given a Baron over to Mad.
Yeah, Hook with an F in that case, and now you got Mad Lions who are going to get to push in. You got already Chasey down on this bottom side, trying to make sure he can keep up this pressure. So get the vision on bot, immediately push in, collapse on towards mid. It becomes very easy now for Mad Lions to get a lot of these outer structures down.
And a little bit of over-eagerness there from Fnatic, immediately pounced on by the Lions. Still a lot of standing gold for Mad, only taking 2 towers so far. They'll try and use this Baron to its full effect.
I think it's important to recognize that given the deficit that Mad Lions were in, the fact that they got a bunch of shutdowns, they got a bunch of gold back thanks to the Baron, you can see that Kazi is 500 gold ahead, and now Humanoid, he's likely to lose his life.
Nature's Gas coming out. Will it get there in time? The Everboss does its work. And Humanoid, I said it in 2019 in a side lane, Humanoid dies.
That he does, Medic. That he does. A quick collapse from Mad. You have to acknowledge, maybe they can't contest the Dragon, but it is spawning in 30 seconds. The teleport is available for Niski. Humanoid has just spent his, which means that Fnatic likely going to concede this one. Not the end of the world to them, though, as it will just equalize the Dragons 2-2.
Yeah, the reset's coming through. You have the Hex Gates to get into position as well, so Mad Lions going to be able to get back out onto the map. I like that Niski stuck around in topside, though. Yes, it would have been nice to spend that goal, but I think actually getting potentially a bit more pressure here could be worthwhile, but is now going to actually take the reset and make sure they can keep the pressure.
Obviously, Baron
they get the support, and now they'll get the resets in just in time for this Dragon as well, and make sure the Mad Lions can't really contest it. Brilliant stuff from Fnatic.
I think Fnatic just used Mad's aggression against them. The fact that they did commit those 2 ultimates meant that Fnatic had a very clear window. Mad, after securing that control, immediately resets, and they were saying, you know what, we can't afford to fight right now, let's just wait. And in that window, Fnatic gained control, and it was a bit of a mistake from Eljoya to believe that he could move back into that space without his team, as it was Fnatic's opportunity to claim control. They find the pick, they find the Baron, and now it's Mad who's on the run.
Flash for flash, that's the trade you want. Makes it a lot more difficult for Niski to actually play this next fight, but in fact, it looks like Mad Lions aren't even going to play around this Dragon. It is the only soul point for Fnatic, wouldn't be the soul itself. And with it being up in 8 seconds and all of Mad retreating, looks like it should be Fnatic's to secure.
There's not a huge amount that Mad Lions can really get on these side lanes, though. Sure, Zeri can push in, but...
Wow!
They extended the range of Blitzcrank hook a while ago, and it still surprises me. That's the edge of the hitbox there. Huge hook from AdVN. His last few moments in this game have been absolutely top-notch. Spotted Niski when he was waiting around the red buff, burnt his flash, then lands the hook on Hilly. And now 2 inhibitors, their prize. Fnatic probably won't play for the win here. We'll just play double inhib base or use the Hex Gate out. Razork, wait a sec, with a Glacial Prison. Goes in with a Twisted Advance. Redemption coming out as well. Chasey Low has that GA to bring him back, though. TP coming in from Oscar and is he Hex Gated out? The stopwatch. So much damage from Oscar as well. And Mad, again, their aggression thrown back in their faces as Fnatic can look to end the game.
Kazi gets hooked once more by AdVN, and without the carry, Mad alive. Fnatic are looking to end the game.
Razzle going in, and Eljoya going low. Eljoya flashes out, and Eljoya dies. And Fnatic will even in out 1 game between them and a matchup with Astralis.
Fnatic and Mad will equalize the series. And I gotta say, gentlemen, Fnatic definitely threw quite a few times that game, but to their credit, they found great windows to come back. In the early game, we saw some great map movements. The way in which they set up the dives towards the top side of the map, the way in which they punished. Chasey was great to watch with this Mad Lions composition, but Fnatic's team fighting, I think, is where they have the edge. And when we think about how this series has played out, it's been all about the team fighting. So I'm quite optimistic for Fnatic coming into this game based on how we've seen this series go so far.
I think it's also just a case of where the hell does Niski play for? don't really want to play Kazrani Kasante top. You try and play around bot, you're playing into a Sivir. Like, she's using a spell shield everything you
That's
do.
a great
So
point, yeah.
I think the biggest problem is, how do you actually try and utilize Niski now with that Sivir going into the bot side? It kind of feels like you maybe look for picks into the jungle, but it's a big question mark. We'll have to see how Niski's going to overcome this.
Both these teams fighting for their lives in the LEC Spring Group Stage. Mad Lions versus Fnatic. One win between you and a matchup with the Astralis. Razork hits him with a stick. Counter-strike coming out as well. There's the stun chase. He still has the flash. Razork's tanking the tower here. Flash forward.
Always.
Oscar in, looking for a little bit more. Razork's going to take another tower shot. Oscar in will jump away. It's an execute and a kill. In the end, yes, Razork dies, but no gold goes over to Chasey.
30 HP onto Skirnin, though. That was so close to being a disaster. Unfortunately for Chasey, just doesn't quite time the invulnerability on the W with actually the CC coming through from Fnatic. So a little bit of a blunder and it pays off.
And the Sang jumping forward, good play back. Power of Thresh into Rel. You can just stop her in her tracks like that. Does stop the recall. That was beginning to come out from Reckless and Advien. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Chasey trading onto Oscar in again, and Tofu strikes will bring him back to Sheen from Chasey, doing...
Here, as Razork starts to lead down towards that bottom side, though.
You can see Kazi backing all the way away from the wave. He will lose at least a plate hit. Probably one wave as well. Hook wide there from Advien. Razork coming in from the side. There's the charm on Hylissang. Flash available for the Rel, but you're so slow as soon as you come off the horse. Attract Repel, not enough. And Razork kills Hylissang once again, and I've seen less throws in a baseball game.
Yeah.
Fnatic, they find themselves another pick. Mad still in the gold lead for the time being. And again, it's an interesting situation where, even though we're seeing a number of individual errors, the reality is they're not swinging the game either way. They haven't been dramatic enough to shift the game in either side, but you kind of look at Fnatic's comp, and you realize that, hang on, but if we're in this even state where it's constantly like small advantages gained back and forth, I feel like it's Fnatic that's benefiting from this, because Mad want to be leveraging
as well as Humanoid looks for the flank with the cease and desist immediately lands onto him up towards the top side though. The cyclone coming out. Niski quite low already. Chasey down to half HP as well with a knockback onto Razork is enough. Oscar in locked in the Magnet Storm. Super Mega Death Rocket does find its mark but doesn't quite find the kill. All out across the wall as Oscar in will fall as well. Humanoid trading down towards the bottom side. Hylissang survives through it all. Hylissang's still alive. Mad Lions absolutely clean up. Reckless dives and dies, and Mad Lions can push into tier 2.
Mad Lions refuse to be denied in this one. Another great fight for them. And now they get to take control over not only these turrets on the mid and top, but also Dragon in a minute's time. And the fact that they've so consistently managed to find these opportunities is incredible for this squad.
It's just Mad are playing so well around Kazi. They are protecting their AD carry incredibly well, and he's giving them so much team fighting power. I expected...
Fall, pops the counter strike, trying to put the damage back down with the cease and desist. Will lock him up in time for Chasey. Humanoid goes in with a charm, that's going to land. Reckless trying to put the damage down as well as Razork is coming in from the flank. Fnatic feel that perhaps this is their moment to get back into the game. The flash away from Aluya. He's down to 150, but a Magnet Storm from Hylissang stops Fnatic in their tracks. He will pay for it with his life, but he gets his jungler out. Humanoid, though, dashing back forward with the Spear Rush. Kazi putting the damage down now. Kazi trying to trade in the Cyclone. Not enough to keep him alive. He'll get one in response.
Overzealous from Kazi as Fnatic actually gets 2 in exchange for 2. When you're this far behind, you'll take that trade as Niski secures another tower bot lane. Crazy back and forth. Mad, I think we're just a little too aggressive after securing the Baron. They will get themselves another tower though, and they will maintain control over this game.
Collapse with the TF, and it's just phenomenal stuff. The fact they are able to so quickly get into position, and Karzi again free firing in the backline. And this was a very risky composition for Mad Lions to bring out in this game 3, the elimination game. And they rely on Karzi, and with Niski able to control on this Twisted Fate, maybe Humanoid was right in what he wrote at the start of this game.
147 damage for Reckless.
Just entirely locked up by Chasey, by the Destiny coming in. Basically made it impossible for him to play the team fight. He is at 3 items now, but so far it has been the Mad Lions show. It's been the Kazi show in this game in particular. The Attract Repel as well. Elioya goes in, sees an assist. They're looking for the stun. The hook goes wide. There is the gold card as well, and you just don't get a chance to get out of the CC. 1-for-1 trade so far as Oscar winning, and Razzle might look for the back line. The all-out across the wall. Kazi already dead, though. Reckless has fallen as well. So far, Fnatic winning out on this fight, but Elioya and Chasey still alive.
Hang on a second. This is a one-team fight for Fnatic. Mad should be able to get away to safety. The flash also committed there from Chasey. But wow, it was a fight where basically 80 carries didn't get to play the game.
Chasey underneath the tower, he can't stay here. It's Razzle and Oscar winning on the chase. The gargoyles were a bit of shielding, but it's not enough to keep you alive. The tower falls in the mid lane, that tier 1 has gone down. Another will go alongside it, and Fnatic have started fighting back.
Have Mad just thrown the game, gentlemen? Like, Mad, they tried to force a fight by locking down Humanoid. Humanoid has been a big threat in these fights, and look, the chain CC is good. You know, the stun comes through, the pullback, the stun card as well. But look at Razork on the backline here. He's kind of focusing down onto Niski. Hillisang is going to drop as well. And you can actually see Oscar and Razork get onto the backline as Reckless is also focused. Double knock-up from Razork. And Niski and Kazi, I feel like they're just not paying attention to him. They tunnel vision so much onto Reckless that they don't realize that Razork is still a damage threat that you have to respect.
Same with Elioya, and now, I mean, things are heating up in the Battle of Winter Fails in the Game of Throws, but we'll have to see if Fnatic can now keep this one going.
Do you call it the Battle of Winter Fails? That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Before, yeah.
Baron is 13 seconds away. Chasing no TP, but it is Fnatic that have control over the Baron. This game felt like it was done and dusted, but now Fnatic have a chance.
Kazi's flash back up in 5 seconds. Reckless is still a quarter of its cooldown left. Humanoid the same. Razork the same. The ability to get on the back line, not that easy for Fnatic. Battle lines drawn. Destiny forward. Niski, gold card locked in. The Baron taken by Razork. The stun's going to land there as they look for a little bit more. Oscar locked down in the pit, and he will fall first. Kazi untouched, but Razork trying to get in the exhaust. The charm flashed away. Razork gets back into the GA. Reckless still untouched as well, though, and Chasey in the middle of the pit is going to fall, and Elioya dies to a ricochet. Chasey falls as well, and Reckless starts walking up. It's a quadra for Reckless. Niski trying to get away, but Humanoid will not let him.
And Reckless just pops off. He gets a quadra kill in the middle of the chaos. Fnatic have turned the fight around.
Is that it?
Mad Lions, that single fight in the mid lane cost them everything. Fnatic are making a beeline for the Nexus.
The bandana is real! It won't be denied! A victory here in the LEC, either Fnatic. They find their fight and they're going for the end.
There's some juju magic attached to that orange bandana that Reckless is wearing. A gift from Boaster and perhaps a gift from God for Fnatic as they look to close out this game. Hillisang's going to try and pull the wave.
5 seconds
but the Nexus Tower's the target. Kazi, 4. Elioya, 2. But the Nexus Towers will fall. And Fnatic are on the Nexus, but the chase goes on. Humanoid trying to survive. Oscar Winning trying to do what he can as well. But Mad Lions slam the door in their face.
Oh my God! The Nexus was in their eyes! It was right there! And Mad Lions said not quite yet. Razork is still alive. He needs to clear these waves as much as possible because Mad are now making a beeline down the mid lane themselves.
30 seconds until Humanoid is up and available. Matt, how far can you push? That's the Destiny in from Niski. They want to try and end it here.
They have to keep the minions alive. They have to keep them alive as long as they can.
Razork, do you sacrifice it all to try and keep those minions away? Reckless 17 seconds against the Cyclone, 1 more minion, he gets them all!
He's
and the backdoor bonus has been stopped, 20 seconds on Infernal Soul. But any wards in the base? No, Fnatic have tried that trick before and Mad Lions must have sweat them out. The Infernal Soul will be Mad's prize at the end of all this back and forth. But the game is not done yet.
Oh, it will be the Soul Dagda. You called it earlier. Mad will take this consolation prize, and Razork, he sacrificed his life to keep Fnatic in the game. And now we reset. Now both teams basically, well, not quite. I will say Mad's Nexus is slightly more exposed than Fnatic's is. But
so definitely going to help out Humanoid as well alongside that. Fnatic hiding in vision. Baron has spawned. This is what we're talking about. The map going very dark for Mad Lions. And you never know what's waiting around the corner.
Niski looking for a pick.
Charges wide. Gets stunned up and now on the back line. Elioya goes to the engagement. Elioya already down to RBP. Oscar in with a great stun. Kazi has to pop the cleanse. Kazi though still surviving the Magna Storm. Separates Fnatic from their teammates. And Yoya though, the Kazi flashes forward. Kazi with the triple. Kazi with the quadra. And Mad Lions with the win.
Hilly steals the penta, but I think there's smiles on Mad Lions' faces regardless, as they will work their way up the mid lane. Mad Lions found the fight they needed.
A chaotic fight that is finished by Kazi, the man with the confidence, the flash in for the quadra. It will be Mad moving forward in the spring group stage. A sigh of relief on Kazi's face after what was a crazy back and forth. But smiles on the faces of Mad Lions. They will continue to fight as Fnatic will be eliminated in the group stage of Spring.
So much pressure on Kazi in those fights. The so real DPS threat, and he stepped up massively again there. The flash forward at the end to secure that win for Mad Lions.
I will say, massive props to Humanoid to make that flash play.
Over the wall, Caps now trying to get the engage. Execute untouched on the backside for now. Marku trying to reset the fight. That's going to be one reset. That's huge. That is massive for the exchange. Caps now next on the list. The Wild Growth not going to be enough. That is the skirmishing power of SK's composition shining through.
Massive communication there from SK. Really good target selection straight away onto Yike. Doesn't even get to pop the ult or the flash. No heal from Mickey. Forced earlier means he can't save him. And now SK sitting with 2 kills and 2 dragons.
Huge play there coming out from SK, initially starting off that play down to the bot side. It looks like they jumped the gun just a little bit, but here they instantly are able to focus down on DI.
Yeah, they stay together. That's all they need to do. They don't want to split up. They don't want to have skirmishes off to the side against the Wukong, the Lucian, the Sylas. These are such skirmish-heavy champions. If you stay together, protect that Zeri and single out one target, you get resets on the Sandra, you get resets on the Viego, and then you can start to move forwards, and we saw that there.
It's actually crazy because like they just straight up won. G2 recognizing their advantage and cooldowns there in that fight. Very, very big. Able to pop the Herald, able to get so many plates to the back pocket of Caps despite the earlier play, despite the 2 assists. Caps still wildly ahead in gold. Now we have the all-in on the bottom side. Execute could just be in trouble. He's just getting called down. Gale Force forward, 2 autos. Wild Growth not wild enough. Hansama just popping off here on the bottom side. Oh, Doss goes back in with the... Oh, he shuts him down. Now Mickey on Doss here. Mickey's not going to chase that one through. A fantastic play from Doss to trade 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, really massive. You could see G2 taking the advantage on itemization. Gale Force to non-mythic on Exekick. They win out on that fight. Really greedy by SK's bot lane to try and punish Hans with that no flash up. Luckily, Doss can trade back. Relevant still under fire on this top side. Looks like they're setting up some kind of 3-man play. Yike's base just got stopped there, so it looks like G2 on this next wave. Relevant might be in trouble. No TP ready for...
Caps! Caps! Oh. But now Caps is in trouble.
He's gone from top to bots to... Can he kill Relevant? Can Relevant kill him?
Dashed over the wall.
Should have eased. He's alright.
Needs to get away from the Lissandra. Gets
No, he's
pulled
not.
back. The rest of the team absconding backwards. A lot of healing. Finally, they have some healing mitigation. Caps will die.
Broken Blade's here, though.
He will.
Level 16. He can one-shot both of them.
What is this sequence of play now? Flashing in. There's the ulti.
Told you.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. That is a big yordle.
It was a plan. All
Take
along.
notes. Notes. If you want to take notes like a BB, that's the Ruby Chroma Astronaut Kennen skin. Yeah.
All right, Dracos,
It's
calm
in the
down.
prompter.
Oh,
Sell
yeah.
out. No, stop.
Right, let's look at this fight again, because SK walk up on mid-wave and G2 just run at them. Irrelevant goes a little bit too far forwards. He has to ult here in a second as they go onto Caps. He's just a bit too tanky with the stopwatch. They can't lay.
Very slowly, however, as G2 continue to push in on the top side.
Yeah, Mickey should have some sustain. They still have Redemption to work with SK. They don't really have the Sandra ult, obviously, or the Lulu ult, so this holding this tier 3, if they lose this, it's game over, so they may as well fight.
Leaping in, Yike immediately just going to delete the enemy AD carry. Dots will fall as well. Broken Blade killing Irrelevant, killing Certus, and G2 overall just killing everybody. Commanding game 1 here from G2 Esports. They drafted for skirmish power, and they absolutely delivered across the entirety of game 1. Turns out Yike can play the monkey. First time seeing him on that on the LEC stage, cruising on through it. G2 clean up shop here in game 1 over SK.
Mid-game skirmishes were good. SK got a really good lead in the early stages. 2 dragons, 2 kills as well. Sitting pretty comfortably, but Broken Blade was winning in isolation. He was a menace in these fights. But it looks like they're going to go for it. I mean, it has good setup. Can play for poke, can play for on-hit. I think just picking up AD here makes sense, because what will happen is if you don't, then they'll ban away something like the Varus and the Jinx, and then you have to go for something like the Xayah, which isn't the end of the world. So I wouldn't be surprised if G2 spice things up a bit here. It's going to be Nila.
Sheesh. Okay, Hansama said he had something spicy. I did not believe him because he always says that to me, but I was wrong. Here comes the Nila.
G2 are cooking, I told you. Happy little game on red side, you know. They're going to have some fun with it, it looks like. They need some kind of engage support. I wonder if something like a Mumu now rises in priority. Something that can go in with the Nila. Look for those dives.
Like Gragas? No, I'm sorry.
Hey, look, I know Mickey's been an enthusiast, but maybe not this game. Wow, that just changes everything completely here. Seeing a Nautilus ban, maybe a Thresh is another option to remove from the pool.
I also wonder if Renata is something that G2 would
It's going to make things pretty tough for G2's bottom lane. I don't think they were expecting to win on level 1, but losing that hard on that first trade is difficult.
Yeah, Hansama already had to, Mickey already had to pop the potion down on the bot side. Definitely not what you want to see. I do also have to shout, I think the rumblings, the SK chants reached Exakick. I saw a little nod of approval.
There it is, TSM. The great unifier in esports for chanting.
We're all friends here.
Except for G2 and SK, we're very much enemies. SK, can they bring us to a game 3? And the big thing for G2 is if this composition works, every team that has to play G2 from here on out is just like sighing deeply, you know? Like, when do you have to worry about the Nylon? When do you have to worry about the Senna? Level 2 now coming in. Formless Blade coming up from Hansama, a bit of extra range here, but again, the level 2, the only reason that trade is remotely positive.
Oh, Yikes trying to look for something up top.
Flash forward, body slam, now gonna get the knockup, gets the reset on the dash in, dash into
Kill on the back of it, but that's 2 kills onto Veigar.
I mean, he almost got 2 there, like just the damage coming down because the cooldowns on the Veigar are a little bit large at the moment. Still, Surtus now absolutely huge, and you saw sort of the power of the Sejuani passive. Yike couldn't actually fight him, had to time it out completely.
I'll just say that the Veigar having 33 stacks at 4 minutes is the beginning of what could very well become a worrying trend, but here comes Yike, the double knockup, instantly the engage comes out, he's just stabbing the ground, he's stabbing dots, he's stabbing everybody, and it's a double for Yike in the bottom lane.
Yike is just a beast on this Belveth, man. I feel like I haven't seen it in a while. He's played well this spring split, but on these junglers, these pocket picks of his he was dominating back in winter. He made a name for himself here in the LEC on picks like this, and instantly after being beaten down in the top river, he's finding a window in bot lane. Remember that fight, that 2 versus 2, where every summoner spell was spent? He's instantly punishing.
Top dive, maybe. Marcoon's hovering. Broken Blaze used the body slam. I don't think they have the damage here. Relevance out of mana. Are they going to commit for anyway? Look at
Yike's here, Yike's here.
Yike.
This is going to be a disaster. Oh my god.
Goes a little bit wide. Knock him now going in.
Kelly dances through. What the hell? He can't be caged. He's gotten 4 kills in the last minute of gameplay. Double kill. Bots run top. Double kill again.
He's like 2 kills to Veigar. I'll raise it. 4 kills on Yike. Oh my god. The man is unhinged. He is everywhere on the map. G2 now up almost 2,000 gold at the 5.5 minute mark.
What is going on? SK went 3 for 1 in that river. The game was in such a fantastic spot, and now you blink and you miss it.
It's a stack battle between Yike and their side as Marcoon fishes for the ulti, but will not find it. 1, 2, 3, looking for a 4 stack, but that's the shield coming in. That's huge! Senna with the backup. I don't even know if they needed it, but they make it look good, and now Surtus. Oh, here we go. Thunderdome gonna keep him safe for a second here.
Yike no flash. Surtus does have his and the ultimate, but he's getting chased down regardless.
Baby cage not enough. That is a full ass man in the mid lane, or void woman as it turns out. You need a bigger cage for Yike.
Just slap, 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 slap. The Veigar hits the floor. Oh my word. Yike running over SK.
Might just get a full mid tower here. 15 seconds on Surtus respawn, but look how many spawn from the dying creeps with the Herald onto Belveth. Can put it down, get a full tower with the true damage, but Marcoon's here to defend. Marcoon, I think he's really frustrated with the game state. His top lane's getting low. Is he dead?
Dash back, stabby stab.
It's a really frustrating game state. They can't dive bot, they can't make a play.
They eat this thing alive. Marcoon stepping forward, taking a bit of poke. Shock blast off to the side.
It's a finish here, G2.
Down. Execute.
It's a flip!
Guns for a fight. They might just try to flip it. Yike now trying to finish the job. They're going to get the Baron. SK can take the fight after. Perfect guns now for Execute. He swaps off the Gravitum. Yike off onto the flank. Has to be watched. They have to engage on the 4-man core of G2. But Caps with a clean ultimate onto Mickey. Maybe it's enough to start the fight off in favor of G2. Execute on the backside. Cannot get it done. Yike will not be stopped. He finds the flank. Execute. No hope left. G2 take the Baron. They take the fight, and they're looking to end the game.
Just a crushing performance from G2 through and through. TPing down to the bot side. They're going to take everything off of this play. Not comfortable just taking the Baron there. No. They look for an opportunity to turn it straight back around into the face of SK and then crush them.
That was SK's last stand. Their last stand here in spring, and it failed. 5 for 0 to G2. Beautifully executed by them. Caps' ult was fantastic. Broken Blade with the knockback to secure the Baron. They won't lose the game here, SK. but they're as good as done. I mean, G2 could try and stay here. They have so much Remora, so many minions. Maybe they just siege through and just look for the end.
Overwhelming force. Irrelevant just doesn't do enough damage to stop this siege. The baby cage comes out, but it'll hit onto nobody. One tower down, a second to follow. G2 can just walk it in. Yikes. Leaping in, a bit of damage. They're all grounded on the backside. Lambs to the slaughter. Their season will end at the hand of G2.
23-minute game. Yike, the second he got those double kills on side lane, just ran away with it, didn't he? Execution around the Nash was pixel perfect, maybe a little bit of an overextension. Something to look at on the bot side of the map when they went a bit too deep, but other than that, I think the game was basically in their hands from the get-go, other than the first early skirmish.
Yeah, after that, just no matter what they